Any reason you did not see your name on the cardboard, please speak to an usher. Thank Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming tonight to celebrate a legend indeed. We're just waiting for a few more seconds to allow people identify their tables and take their seats so that you're able to fully enjoy this evening. We promise to keep it short and sharp. However, the man we've come together tonight to honor is one who is deserving of our time, I'm sure would agree. And so we thank you very much for coming tonight. It's a Wednesday evening in Lagos State, a busy evening. And so thank you, despite a long day at work, for coming to join us as we celebrate Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. Thank you. I believe that is such a huge achievement, such that every time I mention the name, I would take a little pause after I say professor. Because that pause is to remind you how long and how much hard work went into achieving that title. So please, I'm going to be a little bit extra tonight, and I crave your indulgence already ahead of time. But on behalf of Paid Financials, tonight we welcome you very warmly and thank you for coming. We are celebrating very loudly and very proudly the chairman of the board of directors of Paid Financials, and we believe, and I'm sure you'd agree with us, that he deserves only the best. For those who came in earlier, you'd have seen some of his quotes on the screen. And I'm sure in the course of tonight's celebrations, we get to even dig deeper into the life of this great man. I know that, when the focus of the spotlight is on you, you can get a bit uncomfortable. But sir, I just want to say at this point that tonight is the night where we're going to really put the spotlight on you because you're deserving of celebration. And again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we formally open tonight's festivities, please permit me to introduce one more time our special guest of honor, at least in this room, the latest professor of law. We are proud of his achievements. He has worked hard, and he serves in different ways and different capacities. It's one thing to be a master in one industry. It's another to be distinguished across different industries. Right from when he finished university and went to serve at the Nigerian Merchant Bank as a banker, I'm sure he probably didn't think that he was going to go again into the financial services. But here we are, sir, as chairman of Page Financials. But beyond that, being the managing partner at Olawoyin and Olawoyin, a legal luminary, elevated to the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria in 2014, has lectured at the University of Lagos and has been able to combine this with a very successful law practice. And many of us in this room know that his area of specialty, amongst many others, is in shipping and admiralty law. And so we celebrate a man who, for every area or in every field he has had the opportunity to work in, he has been able to excel at every single point of service. That is remarkable. Please, one more time for Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. All right. To formally open tonight's festivities, I'm delighted and honored to invite to give his welcome address a man who has taken on tonight's program very personally. In fact, he's personally vested in the celebrations of tonight. He's ensured that he didn't just leave the activities or the program in the hands of other people. He's overseen it personally because he does understand and recognize the importance of the man that we've come here to celebrate tonight. And so at Page Financials, we're proud that Professor Olawoyin has served so well as our board chairman. And so to welcome our distinguished guest here tonight formally, it's my pleasure and honor to invite to the podium from one distinguished gentleman celebrating another distinguished gentleman with over 30 years or about 30 years in the financial services and leading the helms of affairs at Page Financials. Please let's make very welcome the Chief Executive Officer of Page Financials, Mr. Segun Akintemi. A round of applause, please, as it comes. Tonight is a night of celebration. Please keep the applause coming. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a bit of some politicians here, so I would stand on the existing protocol, if there is any, anyway. I want to say thank you. I have to start by saying thank you to everyone that has taken time out of their very busy schedule to join us this evening to celebrate Professor Olawoyin. I'm standing in two positions. One, as a friend of Prof, actually three. One, as a good friend of Prof. Two, as the godfather of my daughter. And three, as my chairman. So, if you find yourself in such a position, you would have no choice but to celebrate a good man. And, they say a good man is someone that is good to people. And I recall we had a small celebration for Prof about 4 weeks ago. And everyone had one fantastic thing, not just a good thing, one fantastic thing to say or the other. So it shows and reflects the kind of person he is. For us in Page, we count ourselves very, very, very privileged, not just lucky, very privileged to have him. So on behalf of our board members, both past and present. Coincidentally, we have quite a few of our past board members here, and also the present ones. I want to say thank you to you all for coming, and would be taking the night through by celebrating and honoring a gentleman, an individual who has made his marks in every facet of life. I say he has 3 constituencies. He has the first constituency, which is the academia, and that is why we have, someone was saying outside that there are so many professors here. The other person said there are so many sons here. So he has a foot in the academia, which is as a result of why he's been made a professor. So he's not just a professor, because I've noticed they've started giving honorary professors now. So he's not a honorary professor, he's a very well-earned professor. His second is the legal profession. And I'd say that he's done also very well, not just for the fact that he has an LLM and a PhD, and now a professor, but he's also a son. So within the legal profession, he's done very well. And of course, he has his own constituency, which is the constituency of his friends. And there's none of his friends that would say he hasn't touched their lives. So on that note, I would want to say a big thank you for honoring us this evening, and would be very, very straight to the point, and I would appeal that we all stay to the end, because there's enough to eat, enough to drink, but more importantly, we're celebrating a perfect gentleman. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Segun Akintemi, Chief Executive Officer, Page Financials, and of course, our chief host for tonight. So tonight, I'm just standing in his stead. He's actually the one who's brought us all together, and he's already, divulged the reason why, beyond in a professional capacity of knowing and respecting Professor or Prof, as this is his new title. It's also his personal connection to Professor Olawoyin in terms of him being his godfather. And I dare say that your daughters, not your godfather, you're not in politics, sir, but your daughters' godfather. And I was just going to say how blessed and fortunate she is to have such a godfather to look up to. A very wise choice. One more time, please, for Mr. Akintemi. A round of applause. So Mr. Akintemi had mentioned that we do have people here that would like to recognize. It's not a political affair. The atmosphere and temperature in Nigeria currently, you have to double check where you are to see what to say and know what to say. But we're delighted to have with us in our midst some members of the Lagos State office, and we would like to very warmly welcome and acknowledge their presence here. So I'd like to thank very much for coming and honor perhaps the first person to arrive here. I eavesdropped when she was saying that she was here by 5:12 p.m., so I was very accurate in terms of how punctual you were tonight. And I'm sure it's not just because you are a disciplined woman, but also in honor of the person you've come to recognize and celebrate tonight. So thank you very much, Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond, Special Advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Sustainable Development Goals and Investments. A round of applause, please. And we're grateful that you're here, because that's one of the things that we pride ourselves at Page Financials. The number one destination for your investment choices. Please, you can clap to that. And she's actually an ex-director at Page Financials. So thank you for the time you served. And thank you, I want to say that, for taking the knowledge you garnered from Page to Lagos State. One more time, a round of applause for Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond. We're really grateful. We'd also like to recognize here present Special Advisor to the Lagos State Governor on Education. And that's very fitting, because tonight we celebrate a man who is making definite strides in the education sector at the University of Lagos, and I dare say education in Nigeria at large. So we're delighted to have with us Mr. Tokunbo Wahab. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Tokunbo Wahab. I could have suspected when I saw your face cap that you were part of the Lagos State government. But you're most welcome, sir. Thank you very much. I'd also like to recognize, and also very punctual here tonight, a woman I personally respect, and also the president of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce, Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi. You're most welcome. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. In the course of tonight's celebrations, I would please ask your permission to honor and acknowledge people as they arrive. I know that for many of us, or for many people in the room who are friends with Professor Olawoyin, you wouldn't take it personal if I don't mention your name individually. You know that we honor you, we respect you, and we're really grateful that you've come out tonight. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. At this point, the next thing we're going to be doing is something that's very special. And I'd like to ask that you please pay very close attention to the next few minutes. It's perhaps very key to what we've gathered here to do tonight, to celebrate and honor a man who's distinguished himself in service in different capacities and industries. And so we're going to be reading his citation, and then we have a brief documentary to watch. And so I ask that as we watch, some of us have known him for many years, but I hope that as you listen again to his many achievements, you'd be inspired by the life that he's lived, and you'd want to go for even more. Perhaps someone here has been contemplating, the next steps, or perhaps going into academia. This is your sign. And so to read his citation, or to give his citation tonight, I'd like to invite the company secretary of Page Financials, Mrs. Chinelo Awotoye. A round of applause, please, as she comes forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to stand on existing protocols. It's a pleasure and an honor to have the opportunity to do this tonight. I would also like to say that in 2007, when I was concluding my LLM program in Unilag, coincidentally, Professor Adewale Olawoyin was my project supervisor, and I'm glad that today I celebrate him in a very special way. Congratulations, sir. Citation of, sorry? No, sir, you don't have to. Thank you. Citation of Professor Adewale Olawoyin. Professor Olawoyin, SAN, was born in Ile-Ife, Osun State on August 29, 1967, to the family of late Professor Gabriel and Mrs. Agnes Olawoyin. Late Professor Gabriel Olawoyin was the first professor of business law in Nigeria. His primary education was at the University of Ife Staff School, while his secondary education was at the Government College, Ibadan. He obtained his Bachelor of Law degree in 1987 from the Obafemi Awolowo University, formerly University of Ife. He was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1988. He attended the London School of Economics and Political Science, University of London, where he obtained his Master of Laws degree with merit in 1990. He proceeded to the University of Bristol and obtained a PhD in Shipping and Admiralty Law in 1995. His major area of specialization is company law and admiralty law. He also has specific interests in corporate management, secured credit transaction, and governance matters. Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN, is the managing partner of the law firm Olawoyin and Olawoyin, and also a professor of commercial law in the Faculty of Law, University of Lagos. He has a diverse corporate experience as he sits on the board of a number of companies and also holds and has held various positions in several professional bodies, including he's the current president of the Lagos Court of Arbitration. Of course, he's the current chairman of Page International Financial Services Limited. He was a director at First Atlantic Bank, Ghana, for over a decade. He was also director at RT Bisco Nigeria PLC for over a decade as well. He was director at Standard Flour Mills Limited and was also a member of the board of directors of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce International Arbitration Center, LACIAC, from 2014 to 2019. Professor Olawoyin's son is an accomplished researcher with published works in international serials such as the Journal of African Law, the Journal of International Banking, and the Journal of Maritime and Commerce on various aspects of company law, Carriage of Goods by Sea and Arbitration, where he has published various publications such as Decarbonization Pathways for Nigeria, Promoting Sustainable Renewable Energy-Related Foreign District Investment, The Role of Alternative Dispute Resolution in Promoting Related Foreign Direct Investment. This was published in 2019. He also published The Enforcement of Maritime Claims, The Unintended Consequences of Constitutional Change on Admiralty Jurisdiction in Nigeria, which was published in 2021 in the Gravitas Review of Business and Property Law Journal. He has also contributed to various books, such as a collection of articles in honor of the Honorable Justice Olabode Rhodes Vivor, JSC, OFR, where he wrote Towards Enhancing Maritime Arbitration, Plugging Structural Holes in Admiralty Law and Practice in Nigeria. He also contributed to From the Ivory Tower to the Hollowed Halls of Justice, Reflections and Essay in honor of Honorable Justice Professor M.A. Owode, JCA, where he wrote on enjoying the fruits of litigation in Nigeria, interrogating new paradigms of garnishee proceedings. Professor Olawoyin, SAN, was elevated to the rank of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria in 2014, and is also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, UK, and the Institute of Construction Industry Arbitrators. He also sits as a member of the London Court of International Arbitration, LCIA, Users Council in Africa. He's also a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, the International Bar Association, the Nigerian Marital Law Association, the Nigerian Marital Arbitration Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Law Teachers Association, Nairobi Center for International Arbitration. Professor Olawoyin, SAN, is married to Mrs. Segilola Olawoyin, and their union is blessed with 2 gorgeous daughters. Please join me as we celebrate Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You may please take your seats. And thank you, Mrs. Chinelo Awotoye, for reading the citation. I'm sure it meant even more to you, being the fact that he supervised your project, like you mentioned when you were in Unilag. Thank you. You know, the life of a man isn't measured by what he has in terms of possession, but the lives that he's been able to impact. And we see across the room people who can testify of how much of an impact the life of Professor Olawoyin has been. And so we celebrate that. Beyond celebrating your elevation to being a professor of law at the University of Lagos, we celebrate the man that you are and the lives that you've impacted. And so we have a short video to show you, talking about lives that have been impacted or people who've come in contact with the force that is Professor Olawoyin. They have a few things to say, and we got it on video. So could I ask that the lights be dimmed and we turn our attention to the screen for the next few minutes?
He's an authority.
Omoluabi.
Brilliant. He's an authority.
Omoluabi.
Brilliant.
Intelligent.
Well cultured.
Funny.
A passionate person.
Efficient and insightful.
I'm 55 years young.
Of the inner bar for the past 7 years. Then he encouraged me from the start, and then practically held me. And not only that, he prayed, because anytime I spoke with him, he would say, "Shaje kafi sowo Ọlọ́run."
By virtue of the fact that he is passionate about everything he does, he is able to bring that to fore when it comes to helping and assisting and dealing with issues. My time in banking was a very good description of how much he was able to ensure that as much as possible I was on top of what I was doing, he was able to, I mean, I don't want to break down the details, but he was an anchor for me in terms of providing every element of support in terms of ensuring that I was able to get through all the challenges that comes with a lot of responsibilities, particularly in the financial services sector.
He brings a refreshing difference to teaching. Unfortunately for us in these parts, there are not many people who are committed to teaching, to actually imparting knowledge. I think a lot of our academics are they're just doing a job. You know, for them it's just routine. Just do the barest minimum to get by and move on. But I have no doubt in my mind that Wale, just like his father, blessed memory, is committed to actually imparting knowledge. And I say this not just because he's my friend. I've spoken to students who have gone through Wale, who tell me that, wow, if not for Professor, well, now Professor, if not for Dr. Olawoyin at the time, you know, I wasn't really interested in law, but he made it, you know, he made it interesting.
I think one of the things that has really driven me is the pursuit of excellence in whatever I do. So you can see that if I'm serious, I try to excel and be different. If I'm plain or jovial, I also try to do that as well. So I want to do things out of the ordinary. And that has really trickled down into my professional career as well. And even in the way and manner I mentor my colleagues in the office. So, I mean, a typical example is how you pay attention to detail.
Wale is a very thoughtful person. But there's a side of Wale that a lot of people don't know. He's a very witty fellow. You know, he and I share a lot of jokes together. And the synergy between us is so great that if Wale sits across me, without talking, I can tell you what he's thinking. I can say to him, Wale, this is what you are thinking. And he would laugh. And if he were me too, he could tell what I'm thinking from the expression of my face. So the reality of it is that both of us are kindred souls, if I put it that way. And I pray that that continues forever, not only between Wale and I, but between our children.
He's always there for you, like I always say, for all of us. And he does go to the extra mile to ensure that, yes, his siblings are okay. He's a lead. He is really a leader, a role model for us. And I think that's a very good thing that he's in that profession he is right now.
I think one of our most memorable moments was when you came for my 18th last year. Because it was a surprise and I didn't expect you to be there. But then you just came, I showed up and I was really excited and we had a good time.
Prof has been a huge mentor for me ever since I joined the board of Page Financials. For that, I'm very grateful. When I first started, to be honest, I was extremely nervous. That doesn't mean I'm still not nervous when we join board meetings and everybody is speaking. But to be honest, he has been very helpful, supportive, and always there to actually make me feel at home as the meetings are going on. Thank you for that.
I had to start growing my beard since I heard this news, you know, because if one's sitting beside you now, maybe beard will make me look a little smart. If not, they will send me out of the room. Prof, I congratulate you. Thank God for your life. But really, seriously, we are so excited. In fact, only one you, Professor, SAN, bros, you try.
He's a man of excellence. He's an intellectual of international repute, and it shows in his work. So to me, this would have come much earlier, but God's time is always the best.
He's a bit of a chip of the old block. He's like the old man in so many ways, apart from pursuing the path of law that the old man pursued. They went to, I believe, 2 universities, the same 2 universities. And just like the old man is a straight arrow. The one word you asked me for, I said straight. They are straight, They don't believe in bending. It's straight all the way.
He's given me advice in the past on all sorts of legal issues. His opinions are always weighty, thoroughly researched, never been controverted. He's representing me currently in litigation, and I read the depositions that I'm asked to sign. I look at the briefs that he writes and I just say to myself, there's no judge that would disagree with this.
He is committed to the church, dedicated to the home and family. He's a hard worker in the practice of the legal profession.
Honestly, there is nothing I'm going to tell Wale, because he's been acting this role for years. He's been professing in classes, in his writings, in court when he stands to speak and then defend his clients. So he's a professor par excellence, and I admire the way he balances his work and his practice.
I have two events in my career that I feel so proud of as a lawyer. And the first one, the most obvious one, is we had a situation, can't remember whether it was 2009 or thereabouts. We had a new client who had a major case against a foremost bank in Nigeria. And that bank was being represented by one of the foremost big commercial law firms in Lagos. And it seemed that the case was a slam dunk case against our client. And my dad was still practicing at the time. And, I had to deal with the case, and, I sat down over days, poring over how to address this situation. And then I had a sort of eureka moment. And then I prepared the argument, and even when my old man read it, he said, gosh, where did you bring this out from? And that was the same comment from the senior counsel on the other side. The long and short was that they were never able to get the judgment against our client, even though it seemed like a slam dunk case. And for me, that was such an unforgettable moment.
One of the things that I find very unique about Professor Olawoyin is the way and manner he brings in, detailed and professional perspectives on issues that are being discussed at our meetings. And, the way and manner that this is insights has always helped to the profit of the business.
He's able to pass his message across with very good precision, to the extent that you take it in, you don't feel bad, and you take out, you know that he means well for you. And secondly, he is extremely sincere. What you see is what you get.
Your life has been an inspiration to us all. I thank God for the recognition contained in this promotion, because you worked hard to attain it. Endless articles, conferences, book reviews, and lecture after lecture, not to talk of your work in legal practice. We look forward to the next chapter in your journey of life. I know there'll be many more accolades and elevations, and the Lord will bring them to pass.
My parting thoughts really would just be that, the legal profession in Nigeria has been good to me. It's not perfect. There's still a lot of work to do professionally, and also, like I said, in academia. So in academia, I see it on a regular basis, especially when one is grading scripts. I see that the standards are very poor, and that's not That's not the problem of the tertiary institutions. I think it's the problem of the secondary school education that we have in Nigeria today. So, in my own little way, I hope to continue to, with some friends, try to change the direction of travel, because I worry about the direction of travel in the legal profession and legal education.
I think this is just part of what God has in store for him. So I pray that whatever he desires, the Lord God actually grants his prayers.
Now he has the additional cap of effectively being the head of the family, taking over from the old man. So I don't envy him being the head, so he has to take on responsibilities that I don't wish to take. So I wish him all the best and Godspeed.
We thank God, we rejoice. I congratulate you, my learned professor. So proud of you. You know that. I say it often, and it bears repeating. You are a truly great guy, fantastic friend, loyal brother. You're one of those guys when I think they say that people like Wale were made on a weekend. So God made you on Saturday, and then he rested and threw the mold away. Difficult to match, tough act to beat. Congratulations, my brother.
I thank God for his life, and I pray God will continue to be with him, although him, strengthen him, and we know him and we fear him, and continue to do what is good in his life, and God will continue to enlarge his course. And all members of my family, they will be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Through him, many will be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. And all those who are hoping to go to reach the zenith of their profession, they will all reach in Jesus' name. God will bless everybody and meet everybody at the point of their need. We give honor and glory to God in Jesus' name.
Doki, congratulations. You've done very, very well, and I'm extremely proud of you. I'm first proud of you for being a very good friend, a confidant, a support system. Tommy's godfather, one of it. But on the business side, I'm very proud that you are the chairman of Page and you continue to grow in all you do. And all I can say is wish you the very best in your future endeavor, and pray that God will continue to bless you, bless your family, Segi and the girls, and pray for good health in long life by God's grace. Thank you.
I pray that your new achievement will take you to greater heights in the mighty name of Jesus, and whatever you lay your hands on, you prosper in the mighty name of Jesus. Wisdom, better understanding will also continue to be a portion in the mighty name of Jesus.
In your new role, I wish you nothing but the best. I wish you luck. I wish you more success, and I love you.
I pray that he'll keep you in good health instead, to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and grant you the strength to keep climbing to greater heights in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. I love you and always will.
Do you like football?
I'm crazy about football.
Favorite team?
Liverpool Football Club. You never walk alone.
Designer or what fits?
Both.
Favorite food?
Amala.
Best place visited in Nigeria?
Obudukachu Ranch.
Best suit color?
Oh, navy blue.
How many countries have you visited?
A lot, I can't count, a lot.
Best place visited internationally?
Bali and Cape Town.
Wine or beer?
Whiskey though.
Morning person or late starter?
Morning person.
Would you like to type or write?
Both.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Difficult to beat or difficult to match, tough to beat. made on a weekend, Saturday to be specific. A man who obviously doesn't walk alone. And so, in the words of Jürgen Klopp, I'd like to just say that life is too short not to celebrate the nice moments, according to your coach at Liverpool. And it was so wonderful, just to see the different perspectives brought by different people who've known Professor Olawoyin in different ways and for many years. Some they were born, his siblings, his wife, his daughter, and they were consistent in what they said, that he is such a remarkable fellow. And that's why Mr. Edun couldn't but say that God must have thrown away the mold from which you were made. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the chairman of Page Financials. And so we are utterly proud. A round of applause, please. And as they spoke, I said, there's no other place that Page will take you but further when they have such a man at the helms of affairs. As chairman, Professor Olawoyin, we're really proud of you. We celebrate you, and we thank you very much for doing us as an organization, and of course, your friends, family members, and Nigeria very proud. We have a few more things to do. We'd still like to take a few comments from people who are present here. I know that if I went around the room and took a microphone to as many people as possible, you would have something to say about Professor Olawoyin. But because of the brevity of time, please permit me to call a few people who will be representing perhaps the views of many in this room. So first on that list, and before I do call them, we have a few more people I'd like to acknowledge. Some came in whilst the event had started, and others I wasn't able to acknowledge them earlier. Present here, we have a past chairman of Page Financials, Mr. Dimeji Botosho. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Botosho. Thank you, sir. We also have present on-site and online, because this is a hybrid event. So while some of our executive directors couldn't be here, they thought it was really important to share their evening to honor Professor Olawoyin, so they're joining virtually. But present here, non-executive director, we have Mr. Adewale Olawoyin. You saw him on the screen earlier. Is he here, Mr. Olawoyin? Oh, he's online. Okay, so we have him joining online. And then other directors online, non-executive director, Mr. Obinaya Abajue. A round of applause, please. He's the one who is growing the beard because he said he has to be able to match, professor at the next board meeting. And then we have Dr. Umar Owali Yaradua, a non-executive director, watching online as well. She's the one who said you were very kind to her when she joined the board and you mentored her. So where she wasn't able to speak initially at meetings, now she's, by your support and help, she's been able to find her voice very powerfully. Thank you for that. We also have the former chairman, Mobile, Mr. Olu Onokoya. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Onokoya. Thank you very much, sir. At this point, I'd like to invite to say a few words for the next few minutes. The first person I'll be inviting to the microphone is Mr. Wale Adegbite. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Wale Adegbite. A few words.
I thought I was just coming there to eat and drink. But being asked to come here to speak about our dear prof should not be a problem. So myself and a group of friends were a member of a group we call Nando's Group. 20 of us. We flocked together. We've been there for each other for years and years and years. And throughout this, our 20 years plus friendship, Wale has always been there for us. And in fact, about 3.5 weeks ago, we organized a dinner to appreciate Wale and to tell him how much we're really delighted and excited that he made his professorship. And I will tell you one thing. that a lot of people, when we were given that speech, when we were given that, when we had the dinner, started confessing the number of times they had asked Professor to bail them out of one difficult situation or the other. And then people started saying, and he did it pro bono for me. Thank you very much. Pro bono, pro bono, pro bono. So I'm also included. That's the kind of person that Prof is. He's the kind of person that when you go and meet him, at any point in time, he's always there for you. He's a good friend of ours, a very reliable friend. And of course, we know, as you know, people have spoken, an extremely intelligent person. We have two lawyers in this group, Professor Olawoyin and Mr. Niyi Adebomire, SAN. And it's always interesting for those of us that are not lawyers when the two of them are throwing legal banters in our group. And we never knew that even lawyers can have, you know, very deep opinion about different legal aspects, and they will be fighting on one legal case. And, you know, but we've really enjoyed, you know, we've all improved on our legal intellect. We're not lawyers, but it's helped us, really, those of us that listen to or read messages between both of them in our WhatsApp group. So which means that at work, when there are issues, we're able to say, oh, we know, this is the way we should approach matters or the other. So we want to really appreciate Wale for all that he has also been doing for humanity. I say this because not many people would choose not to be pursuing only money. But Wale has decided to devote a very big chunk of his time in this field of trying to impact knowledge in the next generation. It's not easy. There are many times I told you there are 20 of us, so we have lots of parties. Somebody is celebrating one party or the other. And on many occasions, Wale will not be able to join us because he's marking scripts. In fact, when his wife gave a short speech, one of the things she told us was that the dining table is always full of papers. He's always marking. He's devoted so much time. And anybody that decides that the future generation is very important and decided to, devote a lot of his time and money and resources to that, we all know how much he would have been missing out in terms of briefs because he's at one lecture room or the other marking paper. So we really need to we'd like to show our appreciation to you, Professor Adewale Olawoyin, for this knowledge of impacting the next generation. He said something about the quality. He's been there for a long time, and he has seen the decline in the quality of the student. But there's not much you can do at the tertiary level. If the foundation at the primary level and the secondary level is weak, there's not much you can do. You can only trying to be patching things up. Maybe this is also a call for all of us that however we can be involved at the primary level, at the secondary level, please let all of us, contribute in the development at that level. So when you see public schools, I'm a proud Rotarian, and we do a lot of work, and I'm sure the special advisor to the governor knows how much work we do trying to help the state government, because they cannot also do it alone at the primary level and secondary level. Let us all join hands with Prof to make Nigeria a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Wale Adegbite. Indeed, that would be a fantastic present to him on this new level by, putting work into what's so dear to his heart and what he's passionate about. The next person to speak tonight is Dr. Tunde Ajibade, SAN. A round of applause, please, for Dr. Ajibade as he comes forward.
Thank you very much. I was just saying to Wale, I said, you warn me now. As I said to Mrs. Sego, when she came to see me to do the recording, the very lovely documentary we just watched, I said, Wale and I, just like everybody else has said, he's a man of so many parts, and he has touched me personally in so many different ways. And the one that I'd like to share, seeing as I have the opportunity now, I didn't think that I was going to be asked to speak again, but now that I have the opportunity, the one that I'd like to share is that we've known each other from secondary school, Ife. We were both at University of London. We did the PhD together. I was at King's, he was at Bristol, but we were at the same place at the Institute. The one I'd like to share is that whilst Wale has always been brilliant, in my estimation, from secondary school, he's always been a high flyer. So for some of us, it was a bit of a struggle. So when we ended up both doing the PhD, me, the surprise candidate, and Wale, the expected. I mean, Wale is a brilliant one. Wale was my anchor. And I'm sure he remembers. There's this place we used to sit at the Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in the basement, the L1. The number of times when I was tempted to say, you know what, this thing is too tough. What am I doing here? I'm going to just pack it in. It was this man that kept me going, saying, no way. No way. We started this thing together. We're going to finish it together. Thank you, Wale. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Now, I had to put some respect on it when I say Dr. Tunde Ajibade, SAN, because obviously the road to achieving that wasn't very smooth, but thank you very much for that very fitting tribute to Professor Olawoyin. And I'd like to invite to the microphone Mr. Victor Imewore for his own speech. Mr. Imewore, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here, and Wale knows that I'm very, very excited. Let me first say congratulations again, Prof. Wale and I grew up together from primary school. In fact, from nursery. Yes, that's how far we go back, you know. Our fathers were professors in Ife. And I just want to say, should I say, 3 things about him? Somebody mentioned earlier, Wale was always professorial in his approach to everything. Many of you may not know, he's a fantastic footballer. Fantastic footballer. And I still remember him causing my team agony. That free kick, Nii knows about it. It broke our hearts. He was very professorial about that free kick. But Wale was always focused, and like someone said, he always knew how to balance things. You know, the other thing I want to talk about is his commitment to the academia. I used to disturb him
before he got his professorship, and I'm like, this lecturer work that you're doing, so how far? He said to me, he wants to get his silk first. He was very, very intentional. After he gets his silk, he will focus on the professorship. I said, okay. And soon after I got his silk, he said, now watch. Then I got a call not too long ago, and he said, you know what? I've done the interview, and I know it's gone well. It should be announced on so and so day. I was so excited. So I asked Wale, I said, okay, you have gotten what you want from the academia now. So are you still going to stay there, given that the place has been in decline over the years? And he talked about what he sees when he marks scripts and all that. And he said to me, he's been here at the university for a few years. He's seen how things have gone, but he's committed. And that even though he's gotten his professorship, he's going to stay on and continue to impart knowledge. I was particularly touched about that. You know, I'm like, oh wow, we still have a few good men. You know, and on behalf of all of us that grew up in Ife, Prof, we say thank you for doing us proud. Many of us went different ways. We've struggled to come back to a straightish route. But Wale has always remained. When we look back, how many of us whose fathers are professors follow this route? There are not many of us, maybe himself and a couple of others. Thanks for flying the flag. We will always be proud of you anywhere you go. The last thing I want to say is this. Wale has been talked about in very, very kind words. They say he's nice, he helps, pro bono and all that. But do not be deceived. He is also very firm. Professor Olawoyin will tell you no when he believes he needs to tell you no. Once more, I just want to say I'm so excited. I actually told my father when I was coming here, and he's like, really? He says, really? Say hello to him for me. You know, congratulations once again. I believe this is the beginning of many, many, many more things to come. Even if you decide that you are leaving law now, as the Bible says, consider a man that is diligent in his ways. He will sit with kings. Wale has sat with the kings of the legal profession. He has sat with the kings in the academia. And I'm sure if he was a footballer, he would have sat with the kings at the soccer pitch. Congratulations once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor Mewere. Thank you. It was refreshing to listen to someone who's known him from nursery school, to just talk about the fact that his life is truly consistent. So it's not just recently and the people who've known him in his adult years, but even from childhood, his professorship game had been tight. He'd always been positioned to being a professor. Thank you. I'd like to invite Professor Ego Chinwuba for the next speech, please. Professor Ego Chinwuba.
This is a most pleasant surprise. I want to stand on existing protocols. Oh my God. I don't know what to say about Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. I don't want to break into tears. Let me just keep it simple. He's a human being, a real person, beyond all other things, beyond any achievement. He's just a person. Just a person. I think I just want to leave it there. A human being. Someone you can count on. His smile alone is the dance of the sun. the glory of God. I just want to bless the womb that gave him life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Chinwoba. Thank you. Short and very powerful. Really grateful. And now to round off the compliments of speeches, I'd like to invite a woman who is here in a dual capacity. One in her own right as a former board member of Page Financials and a special advisor to the governor of Lagos State on sustainable development goals and investment. But also here in her capacity as a representative of His Excellency, the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, whom, due to circumstances beyond his control, couldn't be here physically. And so she brings a message on behalf of the governor. So please let's make very welcome Mrs. Sholakbe Hammond.
Thank you very much for saying that, because when we found out the governor couldn't come and I was supposed to represent him, I was like, I have to represent myself first. So thank you very much for the introduction. Please allow me to also arrest on existing protocols. It's a joy and a pleasure to be here to celebrate my own chairman, because he will always be my chairman, Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. Really, really so proud. A truly inspiring man, a legal luminary, an amazing intellectual, a financial guru, a stalwart in the industry as evidenced by the various board appointments in different sectors, and has been testified here tonight so beautifully by Professor Ego and by Dr. Uma Yaradua, a builder and encourager of people. I can also speak to that personally, having served on that board. It was a pleasant and refreshing revelation to serve on a board with him. I'd observed various boards. I'd served as an MD and had a board. I've seen all sorts, but it was truly inspirational watching him as chairman of board. I had the pleasure of working with him for 2 years. And I have also been stunned, almost to the point of puzzlement, by the amount of support that Page and the chairman have provided to me since my statutory exit. And I think it just speaks to the culture of the chairman, of the board of Page, and of the management of Page and all the team there. So he really is the right person in the right institution. And everything we've heard today is no surprise. I have to thank you personally. I won't say very much. I think we've heard from those who are so close to you on so many levels. But for me to say, iron sharpens iron. So I'm sure that with the investment you're making and the sacrifice of brilliant minds such as yourself, and with your determination, because I know you are there to do outstanding things, you will stop seeing a decline and you will begin to see an uptick that will stun all of us. So for you, this is only the beginning of an extraordinary career. All these things we've celebrated, in another 5 years will be like nothing. May your trajectory surprise even you. On another note, next step, we've seen academia, we've seen industry, we've seen legal. Public sector, I'm just saying. And so that's just me sharing from my heart. Thank you so much, Prof. We will always continue to celebrate you. We're so proud of you. And so now to do my duty here tonight, on behalf of the governor who couldn't be here, but he has sent a congratulatory message. And speaking, of course, standing with my brother, the special advisor on education, the general counsel to the governor, who is also a member of the Page family. So again, this public sector is looking like, Page is the pathway to public sector, to excellence in public sector. And of course, I see my sister at the back, Mrs. Ariola Koladaisi as well, who's also in government. So to show you, Lagos State is proud of you. We're all here in numbers, in our personal capacity, but also celebrating with you as Lagos State. So I'll just read the governor's message. It was with great delight that I received the news of your appointment as Professor of Law at the University of Lagos. It is evident that you are a rare breed of entrepreneurship, professionalism, and academia, a relentless pursuer of knowledge, as well as an epitome of all-round excellence, as has been evidenced by your distinguished performance from your first degree with merit at the University of London to obtaining your doctoral degree, your PhD in Shipping and Admiralty Law in 2005, and to all the other varied degrees and accolades you have accumulated in the course of your illustrious career. I'm certain that this new appointment will only cause you to strive harder to achieve greater success and advancements in the various fields of your expertise, not only law, but also the maritime sector, finance, investment, climate change, corporate governance, and many, many more. On behalf of my family and the good people of Lagos State, I heartily congratulate you and your family, who must have stood by you during this process and sharpened as well as supported in equal measure on this laudable achievement, and wish you many, many more successes in all your endeavors. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for bringing that congratulatory message from His Excellency the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and also for speaking in your own personal capacity. We're really grateful. And so, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the round of speeches. However, we still have a few more things to get on tonight with. But before then, I'm sure that we've worked up an appetite and you're ready for dinner. Some people have come in straight from work and you've been very patient and kind to just sit through whilst we expect a very deserving, dinner tonight. And so we will break for dinner right now. We have great music to just play as we eat. And I'd ask you to please kindly remain on your seats as an usher comes to guide you to your dinner. It's buffet style, and would ask everyone to please remain seated. And table by table, we'll make our way to the dinner side. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tony Sachs. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we hope you had a good time at dinner with the food and, of course, conversations that were had. We're gradually coming to the end of tonight's celebrations, and I'm sure you'd agree with me that it's been such a fine evening indeed. And so thank you for staying on this long. We have just a few more minutes to go, and then we can bid ourselves good night. However, before we proceed, following a sumptuous dinner, I'd like to invite to the podium to raise a toast to our celebrant for today, the distinguished Professor Taiwo Oshipiton, SAN, to propose the toast to our distinguished Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. Can I please invite the distinguished professor? A round of applause, please, as he comes to propose the toast to a jolly good fellow, as has been said a number of times tonight, as to what an exceptional gentleman and human being Professor Olawoyin is.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also stand on existing protocol, but with a caveat to depart from the rule by specially recognizing who I call our own Olori Ebi in Olawoyin's constituency. That's the Dean, Faculty of Law. He did a lot of work to ensure that the papers were processed and the results came out in good time. The Dean of Law, I recognize you. Professor Ige Bolodeoku, that's our own Olori Ebi. Also, because Wale has the bar as his constituency, may I also use Dr. Ajibade, who chose to go and make money outside so than coming to serve, as a point of contact in also recognizing all members of the inner bar. Now, having said that, I've been asked to propose a toast, and I've been given 5 minutes. If I say, charge your glasses, and off we go, I will not have spent my 5 minutes. And I'm not sure that those who gave me 5 minutes are not saying that for eating our food, you must spend 5 minutes standing to do ABC. A lot has been said about Wale. Let me say that Wale's dad, Professor Olawoyin, was my mentor. And when Wale came to the university, he was handed over to me to be his mentor. And when my daughter had to go to law school and I had to do an intern, and I had the opportunity of deciding where to do her intern, I also handed her over to Wale. So it's a story of like a relay race. One mentor, Olawoyin, to Oshipiton, Olawoyin, to Oshipiton again, and so on and so forth. So you can imagine the joy in my heart today to be here, to be part of the ceremony, to celebrate Professor Wale Olawoyin. We share so many things in common, but I think he's ahead of me. We are both lawyers. Our parents were also lawyers, and wherever they are now, I hope they will continue the learning business. So, I'm a full-fledged orphan. Mommy is still there praying for you. So, you are one ahead of me. Again, your dad was a professor. My dad did not go to the university to go and lecture. You are also a son of a senior advocate of Nigeria. My dad did not become senior advocate of Nigeria. So that means that you are so many miles ahead of you. But it's a way of answered prayers, that our prayer has always been that the junior ones behind us would achieve, and their achievement will surpass our own. At the point I got worried for Wale, I said, Wale, what's happening? let's do this professorship before sanship. He said, no, prof, I will do sanship before professorship. That shows you that he's focused and he knows what he's doing. What else can you talk? What else can you expect of somebody who was created on a Saturday? And you're along with that. And somebody who could share far away, you can't beat him. His colleagues will attest to the fact that he has conquered the land. If you are looking at academia, he has reached the zenith. If you are looking at practice, it's there. And Ajibade, no matter how much you practice, your practice is restricted to land. I have my bro here, whose practice is not only on land, he has also conquered the sea. Law of the sea, admiralty, carriage of goods by sea is there. It's called Wale Tioni Rival. Again, I celebrate him that although he's from the source, Ife, where it is becoming fashionable to acquire as many of them within 3 months. But today, he remains faithful to Segi, his jewel of inestimable value. As I congratulate Wale, I also congratulate Mommy, I also congratulate Segi, that without Segi's support, because I am a professor of law and also a student of Nigeria, we are very busy. Sometimes our wives are talking to us, we are busy thinking of how to either mark papers or how to develop one ideas or not, or the other. Sometimes you are sleeping like this, you wake up, you have an idea, you jump out of the bed and go and put down the ideas, arrest your thoughts before it is too late. So, beside, behind, in front, and all over a successful professor and son, you have Adewale Olawoyin, who obviously gave her and still giving her the support. So, having said so, I have my glass here. It's water. It's the best drink for me. But some go on wine. He goes on Hennessy and other things. Whatever you believe in that will cleanse your blood and make you live long, may I request you to be all upstanding while Wale sits down to charge our glasses and drink and toast to the good health. More wealth, it's already wealthy. More wealth and happiness to Professor Wale Olawoyin, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to his good health. Can we also say that for he is a jolly good fellow, for he is a jolly good fellow, for he is a jolly good fellow, and say all of us.
Hooray! Thank you so very much, distinguished Professor Taiwo Oshikpito, SAN. Thank you for giving that toast to the professor himself, Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN. At this point, we've heard so many people speak about our guest of honor, the one for whom we all have gathered tonight, hosted, of course, by Page Financials. The chairman of the board of Page Financials, as has been said a number of times, a man who has reached the zenith in different ways and different capacities, and still very proudly a son to his mom, a great husband, a father, and very soon, we are counting down to him being a distinguished public servant, as has been prophesied. And so it's my pleasure at this point, and if I could crave your indulgence, because this is the man of the moment, he's going to be responding to all that has been said and done for him tonight. Please, may I ask that we kindly rise on our feet as we usher to the podium the man of the moment, Professor Adewale Olawoyin, SAN, Professor of Law at the University of Lagos.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Good evening. What can I say? When the announcement was made in December, my darling wife said, "Oh no, we must have a party. We must have a celebration." And I resisted and fought and thought that I was successful in not having a public celebration other than just the church Thanksgiving that we had on Christmas Day. And then Shegun just said, "Prof, you have to lock down some dates in January, last week in January." And I thought, you know. But still, I thought it was just going to be a quiet evening, just a few people sitting down, eating, marrying, having drinks. And then last week, I got a call, I think from Chinelo, that I would have to do a video. It was then that it dawned on me that, this thing is probably much more than I've anticipated. And knowing that my wife would be involved, I knew that Segi, in one way or another, would be walking behind the scenes and then be acting to me as if she doesn't know anything. This is your dinner. How many people are going to be? I don't know. What time is it? I don't know. They said 5:30. When are you going to get there? I will get there. You know, so when we went through all that, for me, it has been a rewarding experience, just like the journey to professorship itself. And you know, today was also my first Senate meeting as a full professor of Unilag. And, you know, I sat down in that chamber and, you know, all sorts of memories started pouring through. Because as a young boy of about 11, 12 years old, I've always heard about Senate. My father became a professor in 1978. I was only 11 years old then. Until he retired in 1982, I always heard about Senate. Senate seemed to be the ultimate place that you will go as an academic to go and discuss serious matters. So I sat down there today, and truly, I mean, it was an interesting experience, you know, and also very humbling for me that, you know, that small boy in Ife in those days who used to marvel when my dad talks about Senate is now sitting in Senate as a full-fledged member of Senate. But of course, the journey, even though not an easy one, but at the same time too, I think has been quite seamless. Seamless because when you have destiny helpers around you, God then decides the right time for you to move. You know, some people have said, this is long coming. But as far as I'm concerned, God chose the right time for me to make that move. In 2021, January 2021, I went to see my old man at home, 7th of January or thereabouts. And he just said, Wale, this your professorship thing, I think it's now about time that you sort it out. And that was the first time that he really pushed me sort of to say, it's about time. Look, you've said over the years that, you don't want to join this race of quantity rather than quality. But it's about time you just do this thing and get it over and done with. But lo and behold, in God's chosen time, 3 weeks later, he died. So I'm sure that wherever he is now in heaven, he'll be happy and be celebrating. But like I said, when the time is right, when God chooses the time, then things would happen, So as far as I'm concerned, it is God's chosen time that my dear colleagues, like Professor Oyewumi was my HOD, or he is my HOD, and Professor Bolodioku is the dean at the time that I was going to go for professorship. These are my very, very close friends, and it happens that it is at the time that I needed to move that they were in positions of authority to assist me in that process. My other colleagues that have from Unilag here, Professor Shipito is our leader. Like he said, he's been my mentor. From December 96, when I first stepped into the Faculty of Law as a lecturer, Prof was one of the people that my old man had said, Taiwo, Abure ni also Etoju Embe, and he's been a very, very good leader and also friend as well. There's so many other friends here that if I start mentioning names and the different impacts that they've had on my life, then, I wouldn't really stop. From secondary school, primary school, Niyi, Victor, secondary school, Tunde, university, Sparrow, everybody here have in one shape or form been part of that journey to professorship. And as I said, my friend Victor said, now that you're a professor, are you now going to retire and, leave teaching? Absolutely not. Because I think that we still have a lot to do in terms of the educational system in Nigeria. As I said in the clip there, things are heading south, and they're heading south fast. So how, as a nation, we are going to rein this unfortunate direction of travel, we all have to sit down and think about it. We are almost all of us here are also employers of labor, so we know what is coming out of the system in terms of the quality of staff, as putting aside the sense of entitlement that this Generation Z or whatever it is that they have. But it's important that we all are challenged by the state of education in Nigeria today. Our politicians have left, but at least there's still one of them here who is who is definitely going to be in the Senate, God willing, later this year. It is important that the Nigerian state accords the respect and recognition to academia. Academia has been grossly disrespected in the Nigerian polity. You don't want to know what a professor of any university earns. But the truth of the matter is that if we don't do anything, take urgent steps in stemming the rot in academia, Nigeria would not change. So it's extremely important that we accord the respect and dignity that academia demands from the Nigerian people. Give us that respect. I mean, people might say that, oh, Wale, but, you're practicing, so academia is not your sole source of income. But that is irrelevant. That is irrelevant. I'm in academia because from day one, I said that I wanted to give back. I said, if I have all this knowledge in my head, there are millions of students out there that would not have the opportunity of acquiring the knowledge that I have acquired. So if I'm in Nigeria, I would give back that knowledge. And that is why I am in academia, and I will stay in academia until I retire at the age of 70 by the special grace of God, God willing. So in terms of thanking people, of course, I thank my dad for who I am today, in terms of somebody to look up to for this, for inspiration, for dedication, for sacrifice, all those virtues I got from my dad, and then the virtue of discipline I got from my mom. To my family, my brothers, and more importantly, my wife. I mean, as she said, there are times that I couldn't travel with them for summer simply because it was during exams, and I know that immediately after exams, I have to mark scripts, so there was no way that I could travel with them. The odd weekends was spent marking and doing all sorts of things. So, of course, I thank my darling wife for their dedication, for their sacrifice. But we are here now. But my sense is that the work would even get more, perhaps in dealing with, in assisting university management. Perhaps I'll be doing a lot more, sitting on panels and doing all sorts of things, just to give back. To my fellow pagers. You know, we have a group of the board, and anytime I make a comment, I always close with the line, #proudlypage. And I really do thank members of the board of Page and the entire staff and management of Page. You know, the board of Page is a different kind of board. I've been on quite a number of boards, but the simplicity, but yet seriousness of making decisions, discussing important matters, just makes the board different and a breath of fresh air. You know, there are no airs and graces on the board. Extremely intelligent people in their own different fields, but we all come together in a jovial atmosphere, but still we try to get the job done. So I thank everybody for coming here this evening. I mean, it's a Wednesday evening. So I thank you very much for honoring the invitation. And I pray that whatever we all set our hearts to do, God in His infinite mercies will grant your heart's desires according to His own will and in His own time. Just be patient. In His own time, God would do whatever is right for you. Like I said, it is God's will that
I would get my professorship in 2022 and not in 2015 or 2017 or whatever it is. God chose that time, and God will do the same for you. Thank you very much, everybody, for a lovely evening. It's been a very, very tastefully done, classy, and Shegun, thank you very, very much. He's also the father of my second daughter, godfather of my second daughter, by the way, as well. So there was a bit of retaliation there. Thank you very much, and have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much. Please, can we please celebrate Professor Olawoyin one more time? Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I think it's quite symbolic that on the first sitting of your Senate, since being professor, Page Financials decided to honor you. So it's a double celebration. And we're grateful for that. Thank you. We just want to take a few pictures. We thought it was important to just capture some moments. After tonight's dinner, we will have time for more pictures if you'd like to take pictures with the professor afterwards. But for now, we'd just like to invite his family members present. So family members present to kindly come forward for a picture with him. A round of applause, please. I had an opportunity to speak to his sister-in-law over dinner, and she talked about how proud the Sulu family are of their favorite brother-in-law, Professor Olawoyin. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to invite colleagues from Unilag, from the university. Ladies and gentlemen, they will take you further. Page Financials. If you do not have an account with Page Financials, tonight is a great night to speak to one of the wonderful people on stage right now. And so much for coming out tonight. We still have a lot of food and drinks, and of course, Tony Sachs and the fantastic DJ here tonight. If you still want to hang around for a few more minutes, please feel very welcome to do so. On behalf of Page Financials, we're taking you further. Have a good evening.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind, 'cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you. Oh, how many times do I have to tell you? Even when you're crying, you're beautiful too. The world is beating you down. I'm around through every mood. You're my downfall, you're my muse, my worst distraction, my rhythm and blues. I can't stop singing singing, it's ringing in my head for you. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and I'm out of my mind. 'Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your